International partnerships are an opportunity for New Zealand to earn export revenue through providing ongoing consulting services and sales of agricultural equipment and technology. Dairy Solutions is a business group out of Innovation Waikato. It's been working in Colombia, looking for joint venture opportunities. 3 different organisations have been identified and relationships have been nurtured. They are Alier, Promisión and Alquera. Colombian Julian Ramirez Luna is now based in Waikato, but we caught up with him in Colombia when 3 joint ventures were about to be signed.
The effect of these projects in the rest of Colombia will be really important because as average, the quality is not very good. So we are creating the new, I don't know, like the baseline, the new baseline for the dairy production in Colombia.
Allianz farms are situated on a plateau in an area of lowland tropics known as the Llanos Orientales. Aliar currently has 78,000 hectares in production over a number of properties, growing maize and soy for animal feed. Crops are processed and fed to pigs, also grown on farm to supply La Fazenda stores in Bucaramanga and Bogotá. Jaime Levano is the head of Aliar. He's an entrepreneur and a visionary who saw the potential of the Llanos about 12 years ago. But the land is not without its challenges.
This type of land, the cost was nothing. The people say this land is only good for pictures, not for producing anything. The acidity of the soils was so high, the pH was 4.2, that is very acid, and with a lot of aluminum. But also, the organic matter of the soil was very low. Too low was 1.5%, and to have a good soil must be above 4 or 5%. But now we have lands with 3.5, so are improving. We started trying to produce corn and soybean. But as far as we could see how we improve the soil, the corn is like the pastures. So if it can be good for corn, it can be good for pastures. We have pigs, and the pigs produce effluent, and the effluent is very rich in organic matter and can fertilize the land. Say, well, we can go to pastures, so let's study pastures in a cow program. The dream that we have is that the people from Colombia can have cheap food because they must improve the nutrition, and nutrition means protein, and what it really means is meat and milk. And what we want is the people from Colombia having milk at half price, and in that case can improve the intake of milk and also the protein in meat that we hope to arrive above 70 kilos per capita, and especially for the poor people that is having less than 20 kilos per year.
Yo pienso que es una relación muy importante, donde nos podemos complementar. Aliar tiene la experiencia y la tecnología.
The relationship between the Colombians and New Zealanders would be a symbiotic one, with Colombians providing land and local expertise in crop management to complement New Zealand's experience in pastoral farming systems and genetics. Kiwi Stuart Gordon is New Zealand-based, but regularly visits Colombia. He was previously Chief Executive of LIC and now works for Dairy Solutions. He explains what kind of animal will be required in the Llanos.
What we're trying to do is maximise use of pastures, which has not been done well in the past in the tropics, certainly not in Colombia. It has been practiced elsewhere, and we see very good examples being done in Brazil by Kiwi farmers. And we're looking at those practices and copying those and trying to apply them to Colombia. We are talking about low tropics, so we're talking about heat stress, and we're talking about resistance to certain diseases. The animal at the present is an animal that the locals have bred for both beef and milk. It's not suitable for what solution that we are looking for. So we are taking pure New Zealand genetics in embryo form from New Zealand, from top cows in New Zealand, to be born in Los Llanos, so actually born in those conditions, and have transferred the resistance through the recipients that will carry these animals and to be brought up in the region. So that's one strategy. The second strategy is to take New Zealand semen and cross it with some existing tropical animals in Colombia and Brazil. Have those, again, animals born in the region. The animal we're aiming for is unique in respect it's industrial scale and it is unique tropics.
Also looking to sign up is investment group Promission, based in Bucaramanga. It's operated for 28 years. CEO of Promission, Carlos Chavera, explains.
We thought that it would be a good opportunity for Promission to bring the management skills to agriculture. And we have different agricultural sectors here that are still not very strong in terms of management and scale and agribusiness. That we talked to Dairy Beef Solutions, and they thought that we thought the same in terms of bringing people together, sort of sharing, having good partnerships. So that's the way we created a company that's called Dairy Beef Solutions Latam, Latin America, by which we will try to transfer the technology of New Zealand in dairy and beef to Colombia and to Latin America.
Alcaria is the third company working towards a joint venture. The founding director's grandson and current head of Alcaria, Carlos Cavalier, explains.
Alcaria is a family-owned dairy that started in the late 50s when my grandfather wanted to have easy ways to prepare pasteurized milk for people in the city. And he was a doctor and involved in health, so wanted people to have better quality of milk. We got involved with Dairy Solutions through introduction of a mutual friend. My father went 40 years ago to New Zealand and spent a few weeks there and brought a lot of knowledge to our farm. We were very excited. Colombia has been a closed economy for a long time. Some sectors, like the dairy sector, have been enclosed and not watching the reality of prices internationally, effectiveness, productivity internationally, how it's the best ways to manage herds. So I think we'll be profiting enormously with this joint agreement.
The potential for the Llanos region is massive, it's huge. Llanos region in the past has been a region which nobody believed. It was a region that nothing happened, but now is seen as the future of Colombia. There are 4.8 million of hectares available for agricultural products. So I think but it's more important for me, dairy production, because the employment they can create, the stability, the social stability, the long-term development is huge.
We will always only be 4% of the total world's production. We just haven't got the landmass to provide the world's solution for dairy milk. It'll be produced elsewhere. So if we don't provide those technology solutions, others will, and they are. They are providing now. The Americans, the Europeans, etc., are going around the world selling their technologies. So we have an opportunity in New Zealand to diversify our exports. We're never going to meet their dairy needs. We don't even meet the world's growth needs, let alone the total needs. So why don't we take both our equity and our technology and take some value out of that opportunity?
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.